Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you for joining me again today. It is the 7th of January, which means it is our new mini catalogue and celebration launch day. So now customers can get hold of products from this publication and earn, as well as the annual catalogue is still running, as well as earn free products through our celebration event. So this one is going to last all the way through until the 28th of February. The mini catalogue runs all the way through till April the 5th of May is the last day on that one. So that's gonna run for those months, but celebration will only run for 2 months. Okay, so for every qualifying order, you'll be able to select a free product from the celebration catalogue. I've given a few little sneak peeks over the last couple of weeks of some little things. We've got a nice set for the scrapbookers. Got a cute card kit which I've got in my stash. Some really nice papers that are going to complement some other stuff that's in the mini catalogue. This lovely fruit salad. We've got these funny seagulls with some great puns. This is a great embossing folder. I've used this. Okay. Some more papers that will complement a stamp set that's in the mini catalogue. Something very seasonal, some fresh freesia ribbon, which is awesome. I've used that too. I think you'll see that on Friday. We've got this cute set with the dancing couples there. Some really nice purple embellishments, more floral paper. That's 12 by 12. And I've also showcased this set in the Stamp Around UK video hop as well. So that was on the 1st of January, so you want to look back on there. This one's cute as well. This one's Cornering Bloom. And then with that, we've also got our joining offer that we have every celebration. There is something that's going to go out as a special offer to boost the starter kit. So starter kit's always really, really good value. Okay, and that remains at £99 in the UK, which includes shipping. Okay, no extra shipping. But on top of that, you can also select this lovely Handmade Designs stamp set and a set of, or two sets of markers, Stampin' Write markers. These are water-based markers, so you can choose whether you want subtles, brights, neutrals, or regals, any combination you like to add to that. Or if you don't fancy that, you can get an extra £30 worth of free product as well. So there's that joining offer. So the qualifying orders, so excuse me, £110 for these ones with the stamp sets, these bigger stamp sets and coordinating dies. A lot of the other products will be free with a £55 purchase. Okay, so I think that's all the I think there's just the two products that are for the 110. Yeah, okie dokie. All right, so this is all available online. There's links on my blog, which is linked in the description. Hit over there and you'll be able to download a copy of the catalogue now from the website. And then the mini catalogue, obviously I'm not going to flick through all of this, but there's some really, really nice stuff in here. Shared a lovely set called Tile Techniques. That was really, really good. Now, Natural Botanicals I've shown you. I've also shown you Beautiful Butterflies. So, and not Darling Dinos yet. That's coming. So yeah, I've already started sharing. There's absolutely loads in here. There's stuff for scrapbookers as well, if that's your jam. Some new kits that are available. But there's some really, really great sets. I've used this set, some great sentiments, some really nice sweets. I'm just flicking through now. So I'm not going to do a proper walkthrough at all. I'm just going to just show you a few little sneak peek pages and stuff, but these masks are going to be cute to work with, I think. Beautiful die set there. So yeah, lots and lots for all sorts of occasions, okay, and some really great punches too. So this is now live. Click through on the website, have a mooch. Don't forget celebration, £55, and you'll qualify for something in celebration. Absolutely free. And don't forget, if you think you've got a big shopping list, the starter kit might be the best way to get that with free shipping. Okay, today's focus though is not going to be on new products. What today is a last hurrah for some of the last chance products. So rather than retiring stuff straight off the bat and that's it, they're not available as of the end of the catalogue, Stampin' Up have changed that a little bit. So things are going to be available until they run out. Stuff has already sold out, of course, once we know things are on the last chance list. But as of filming this, these things are still available. So hopefully they still are. But also don't forget that the layout that I'm sharing and the techniques are all applicable to other stamp sets that you might have in your stash. Okay, so you sort of think outside the box and apply it how you want to. And you might not even like this colour of cardstock. I love it. My followers will know that this is one of my favourites. This is Blackberry Bliss. And the combo I've put with this is Pretty in Pink. And then I've got Pretty Peacock and Summer Splash with some gold. Okay, so chucking all sorts at this today. Okay, so have a quick look, see whether you've got any opportunities to get hold of some last minute products, and if you've already got them, these are ideas. So this is Regal Flora that I've used for the flowers there throughout the year, which is what I've used for the sentiment. This is the Christmas labels dies, so you get 4 of those, which is really, really cute. And then I've got textured timber as well, which I've used in the background there just to add some distressed sort of look to it. So loads of stuff. The ribbons also a last chance. That's the Blackberry Bliss and gold ribbon, which is absolutely lovely. Okay, you can get loads on a spool. Okay, so loads of stuff there that you might be able to get hold of at a reduced price. And then on the inside, I'm trying to make sure I do the inside now, so I'm doing a white panel and then the same inks I've used on the inside to decorate that, and put that in the middle there. So as per my usual style, I'm going to recreate this in a different colourway, and I'm going to pull out another one of my favourite colours. And again, it's not everyone's jam, but it's going to be World Wheat. This is one of the in colours. So we've got a background panel there in the same colour. I like to stamp on a panel rather than stamp directly to a card base, because then if you make a mistake, you haven't ruined your card base, and you can pull that back through. This is the bit that I'm going to use for the insert. A bit of scrap there to do some die cutting on. And the complementary combo is going to be Blueberry Bushel, Copper Clay and Early Espresso. Okay, so you can see I've done a bit of die cutting already just to save a little bit of time. Okay, so we'll just pop those to one side just for a sec with the card base. So I'll be stamping on that, stamping on that, stamping on that. Yep, okay. So let's get moving on this then. Okay, so I think I'll get that insert done first, and what I will need is some scrap paper. So let's just grab some that I forgot to pull out a sheet, so let me just grab something. Yeah, there we go. I didn't want anything that was too... I use grid paper until I can't possibly use it anymore, so I just wanted to get out a sheet that wasn't going to be quite so distressed for you. So using the same 3 inks that I'm going to use on the front, I'm just going to stamp on the inside here with our inks. Okay, so blueberry bushel for our flowers, which I'm going to pop down here, and I'm not going to worry if they slightly misstamp. It's a distinctive stamp, this, so it looks good no matter what, really. So that's blueberry bushel. We need some little leaf details in copper clay, which I'm going to pop over here somewhere, one up here, and we'll hide the stemmy bit with the other ones. And I'm going to put just some leaves up in the corner, and then early espresso is going to be our little extra element here with this larger image, which I'm just going to stamp in some detail here and here, and one up in the corner as well. There we go. That's lovely. It's a nice combination. Going for something a little bit more I don't know, it's all sort of deeper tones, isn't it? Yeah, deeper tones. So all of those elements I've already stamped out twice and die cut already, ready to go into the card. Okay, must have picked up some ink on the back of there, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so that's ready to go on the inside of our card when we're ready to assemble everything. This piece is going to be for our sentiments that we're going to emboss. And there's a couple of things I want to do first. Okay, so with the wild wheat ink, we're going to do some tone on tone stamping with this lovely wood texture, which we're going to pop across the middle here. And I'm not going to be worried about lines overlapping, things not meeting or anything like that. We're just going to go with it. Okay, because we want a kind of rustic look. Okay, just going to leave that to one side for a moment. We don't need the ink pad anymore. Okay, and then we're going to switch in to our embossing ink. Okay, so we're going to use Versamark for that. Okay, and we are going to pop a little bit of anti-static powder on there. Okay, and we're going to stamp the sentiment. So clear ink will is sort of a sticky ink. It stays wet a little longer and allows the embossing powder to cling to it. So just making sure I've got a nice impression on there. And I want to just pop my embossing powder on there, ready to go. Let's have our tweezers at the ready as well. Okay, so and just gently tap that off. So that's ready to heat emboss. It's dull at the moment, but it's ready to go. Okay, so that can be just left to one side just for a moment. Okay, I've got the hazards of open embossing powder and all sorts of things everywhere. And I'm going to bring back this, which is still slightly wet. That's fine. That's part of the look that I am going for. And then with this little dottage stamp that's in the Regal Flora, we're going to add some embossing ink to this. So, call me crazy. So, this was sort of a happy accident. Okay, so on my original sample, I was trying to sort of get it done so that I could get the video recorded, and hadn't let that Blackberry Bliss ink dry completely. and I ended up with some of the powder clinging to some of that ink. Oh, that might do actually. Now that I've inked it, I'll just pop a few more over there. So in my haste, I ended up with what normally would be an undesirable result, but I actually quite liked it in the end. I thought it added a bit of fun texture. Okay, so we're going to just chuck that on, and it's going to cling to anything that's wet basically. And actually that's clung to most of that image, but not all of it. Give it a good sharp tap, and because it's some more of it will probably fall off that wild wheat ink that's mostly dry if you tap it sharply, but it will stick nicely to the Versamark. So, and we can always put a bit more over those Versamark areas. Okay, so it'll be hard for you to see, but some of that wood grain does not have powder on it, some of it does. Usually it's the thicker parts, the thinner lines have dried already, but the thicker lines haven't. Okay, so we're going to end up with partially embossed wood grain and those speckles as well. Now if you don't want to have that look, then make sure your wild wheat ink is really dry. You can add you can heat it with your heat tool to make sure if you want, but like I say, we're going for this sort of more distressed look. Okay, so we're going to heat the heat tool up for a few seconds, and then we'll bring it to the cardstock, and hopefully you'll be able to see that change in the light. Okay, so bear with, this is going to be a bit loud, so you can either mute your video, or if it's something that you like the sound of, then please stay tuned. There we go. And then obviously I brought in the sentiment to do as well, so hopefully that was really nice and clear on shot, but the way that just melted there. And then I don't know whether you'll be able to see super well. Oh yeah, I think there. So if I flick that through, you can see that some of that isn't embossed. A lot more of it is. It was a bit more distressed on the other one. I think I'd left it a bit longer and stuff, but you get the idea. Okay, so if it's not a look that you want, let that first layer dry completely first. I've got to work out which way up I want this. That way, I think. Right, so I think what we'll do, we'll die cut this next, I think. With some tape. Okie dokie. The heating does warp the cardstock a little, so you might need a little extra tape just to make sure that everything's going to stay where it needs to. just going to line up the straight edges with that text to die cut that out. Okay, and so this is what we're aiming for. And so I've already die cut the other elements, so this is just obviously something I couldn't do ahead of time. So we'll just run that through, okay, and just ease that out at the back. Like so. There we go. Alright, and we can clean that out properly off camera. Let's take out any bits that haven't quite loosened, but they've cut through. It's just sometimes the little fibres like to hang on. Okay, so we'll pop some dimensionals onto the back of this. Because we like a bit of dimension. And while we've got them out, we'll add some to these as well. Just want it on the bigger leaves and the flowers. So again, we'll just put a couple. That means that we'll be able to, you know, wiggle things around as well, because there's lots of space for things to tuck in and out. You don't need to plaster it with dimensionals at all. Okay, so here's all our elements ready to go, and let's get this card assembled. Okay, so let's pop our card insert in. We'll just use some seal for that. Slot that in. It's a little smaller than a card layer, just so that we've got some of that wild wheat showing through. And we'll just make sure that that crease is really nice and sharp, which means it will stay stand up nicely. And then before we adhere this one down, we're going to add some of this lovely rustic wild wheat ribbon. So this is another last chance item. It's a really great ribbon, and of course it's in wild wheat, which means I love it. And while we've got it, we're going to tie a bow off the spool. So if you want to save ribbon, this is a good way to do it, because you can shuffle it along and minimise the waste. Okay, and then we'll just cut those ends. Okay, so there's a bow ready to go. This will adhere with just some tape, so you don't have to use our craft specialty supplies for stuff that isn't seen. Okay, so we'll just hold that in place with that, and then we'll use a nice bit of our nice strong craft adhesive to adhere this to our card base. So because we've done all that heat embossing and it's a bit warped, I am putting a few extra lines of the tape on. I wouldn't normally put that much on. Those of you who follow me know that. And then we'll line up the 3 edges at the bottom, and then the rest should take care of themselves. Just working that along to try and make sure that that sits flat and compensate for that warping. You might want to use your creasing tool or bone folder or whatever you've got, whatever your preference is, to secure that. Bow in a little bit, but that's fine, because once you put all the other elements on, you won't even notice that. Okay, so the sentiment's going to go on first, so that it's nicely centered in the middle. A little bit of the early espresso ink would look nice on there as well, to make that sentiment pop a little more if you feel like it needed it. Okay. Our little bow is going to go on with glue dots, because that's the best way to stick bows on. Okay, so just press that onto the glue dot quite firmly. Then I like to use a pokey tool and just lift that off, and we can pop that in position. And I've ended up putting this one on sideways as a sort of cute little tie there, and then you can trim down any excess ribbon. Just want that just to peer off the end, but not too much, so it doesn't get squished in an envelope. If you use the sharp bit of your scissors, it's even better. So those are the scissors I specifically use for ribbon. Okay, and then we are going to add our florals. Okay, so I'm not going to be too pernickety about the orientation of these. We're just going to get them on. Okay, and this one's going to go under rather than over, just so that it's got, you know, different elements sort of showing really. And then these leaves we can tuck in underneath here, just to frame everything really. It's cute, right? I like the combination of colours. I wasn't sure what colour to do the flowers, if I was honest. And I just pulled out my ink pads. Already knew I wanted browns for my foliage to give it that sort of rustic vibe, but just going to use wet glue on these. Wasn't sure about the actual florals themselves, so like I say, I brought out all the ink pads and just sort of laid them out. And I thought I wanted a blue, and tried it. Misty Moonlight was just a bit, I don't know, just wasn't bright enough. I thought it was a bit dull looking compared with when you put it with everything else. Not that it's a dull colour, but you know, it just depends on how you combine it with other things and how things look. Okay, that'll tuck in up there. Right, okay, that'll do. That's it. So yeah, so I just sort of wrangled them and just, you know, pulled in something that I thought would go with all of those coppery colours. Okay, and I thought the navy would be too dark, so I ended up with Azure Afternoon was too bright. Okay, so that's how I ended up at Blueberry Bushel. But you know, colour combos, all up to you guys to have your own ideas on what you might like. So I'm hoping you've enjoyed that, and it's given you some more ideas to use some things that you might already have in your stash. Pop along to the website. Links will all be in the description for all of those things, if they're still available. If not, obviously, you know, substitute it out for things that you do have. Okay, this is all just serving suggestions at the end of the day. Okay, and then also don't forget, while you're there, to have a look and download a copy of the digital catalogue, and have a look, see if there's anything you fancy there. Okie dokie. That's it from me today. Thanks so much for joining me for this slightly longer video today. almost 30 minutes, or just over 30 minutes. But I hope it was worth it. Okie dokie. Watch out for bits and pieces on Instagram as well. Doing a few things on there that I don't necessarily put on as a video. So just check it out. Thanks so much for joining me. Do stay safe. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.